This is The Mirror with Sarah and Ryan. We're two friends trying to heal and create community together with the magic of tarot and energy healing. This is your time to reflect and receive, so let's get into it. I'm Ryan, an energy healer, green witch, and all around rebel who can help you realign and rally against the system.
And hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a tarot reader. I deal tough love cards with no sugarcoating because I'm sweet enough. Isn't that right, Ryan?
So right, so sweet.
How have you been doing lately? What's up?
You know, I feel like all this stuff is going on and I feel like stuck in it. Even though I know it's not forever, even though I know like spring is coming, like literally here, spring is coming. But I don't know. I feel I'm trying to like hold the vision, but also like feel the feelings, but not get lost in them. What about you?
Thanks for sharing. That's great. Yeah, I like what you said about holding the vision because I think we're going to do something a little different with today's podcast. We're thinking of doing this is going to be part one, and it's going to be like addressing head on the issue. And then part two is going to be, I'm calling it like your hot future. It's going to be kind of more like a fun pick a card style where we start to actually focus on our imagined futures. But I'm all about addressing the elephant in the room, especially when it comes to our emotions. So for me, what I've been going through, I'm playing with how do I hold two things going on. Um, in my personal life, there's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of highs and lows. And so I'm just deepening my capacity right now to um, hold space for big emotions like grief, loss, and also remember that like I deserve to be celebrated, and um, my life deserves to be marked with occasion and opulence even. So I'm thinking of like how do we like support ourselves holding to things? How do we like kind of address the challenges we're facing and honor them, but while also kind of making space for what we know is coming next, like that promise of spring or change or renewal. What do you
I
think?
love that. I think that's so important. And also like you do deserve to be celebrated. And I'm celebrating you and we're all celebrating you. But also grief is really tough. Like that's a really tough thing to balance. Like joy and excitement and in like a new life chapter, but also like an ending of another one.
Yeah.
Um, so I feel you. I mean, kind of the same vibe, like still on my job hunt, still like in this temporary space that which I know isn't forever. And I'm so grateful that I'm here, but also like, oof, there's lots of feelings that are coming up. So yeah, let's get into it.
Let's see specifically what we're getting into here. I'm going to shuffle the deck, and I'm actually going to ask Ryan to pick a side of the deck for us once I cut it. What this does is it brings you and your intention and your intuition into the story just a little bit. So I have split the deck. Should I go from this pile or this pile? Up or down?
Up. Also, I love the participation. Thank you.
Okay. So generally when we read tarot cards, we get like some difficult, challenging, dark cards come up. Not today. Everything is really just like gentle and chill and also really hopeful. So I'm gonna look at our first card together. This is called the Two of Wands. So the Two of Wands, wands are the suit of passion, creativity, desire. It's connected to the element of fire. And to me, it's those things that we do. Like I feel like we would do them even if we were like conked out. Like it's just something that we like are compelled to do. Something that flows through us. So for me, that's writing. I am a writer. I will write as sure as the sun will rise the next morning. That's just what I do. That's how I create and express and find myself. And that's also how I channel. So for me, like one of my big passions in life is writing. That really fires me up. I can do that all day. I do it all day actually. So in this card, you are grabbing the reins of life here. I like to look at these as two water dowsing sticks, and you are kind of tuning in to what lights you up. Nobody's gonna come and drop a hobby, an interest, a skill in your lap that's perfectly aligned for you. And these things also take time to develop. You're probably 100% going to be shitty at it at first, and you develop the skills over time. So if you're interested in playing piano, when you sit down, you're never going to sound like Chopin your very first time, or even like the first year or 5 years, even, skills mastery. But if you're compelled to go sit down at the piano bench, like do it. Listen to that urge, that fire. This suit is also the youngest in the tarot deck, so it's very full of energy and verve and vitality, and it hasn't been like beaten down by the world yet. This energy, it's kind of like almost naive, and that gives them an edge because then they aren't putting any limitations on what they can do. Uh, so I really want you to start to peel off some of those I can't, and oh, I can't right now, it's not the right time for me. Peeling off those limitations and instead tuning into what lights you up, like little water dowsing sticks, and you kind of following your I want to say following your heart, but it's not like actually your heart space. It's more like that kind of belly fire space that you're following. That's following the things that lights you up. So when in doubt, come back to passion, come back to those things that draw you forward and light you up, because you're gonna be tired anyway. You slice it. Anything you do, you're gonna run out of energy. You're gonna be tired. It's going to drain you. It's going to you're going to feel like there's not enough for you. So why not like exhaust yourself in the pursuit of your dreams and in pursuit of the things that excite you, rather than exhausting yourself for, I don't know, for money to spend at Sephora? Like, this is there's something that you can be drawn towards that's actually going to add to your life rather than take away here. That's what came up with that. The next card we got is the Star. Anyone who loves tarot knows that the Star is just a really lovely card to pop up in any spread. It's a card of healing, renewal. It's also a card that comes after a really difficult period in one's existence, usually. It's a promise of like healing to come. So this is that reminder, literally in the cards, that like what we're experiencing, the challenges we experience, the loss, the grief, is not going to be this way forever. It's not going to be at this intensity forever. It's going to change. We're going to change. We're going to establish a new relationship with it. So this card is for anyone who's like experiencing something challenging. Maybe you're just, regular run-of-the-mill seasonal affective disorder is starting to wrap up. Just know that like it does get better. Like it's not going to be this way forever. It's really hard to remember that in the moment. I acknowledge that. I'm super guilty of being like, oh yeah, okay, so things suck, and I guess this is just my life now, and I'm going to cry about it. Go ahead and cry about it if you want, but also know that like this is available for you. Even right now, right? Even right now, you can take a step towards healing, renewal, and hope. You just have to like be open to it. And one of the ways to help you get there is going to be exploring passions a bit more and focusing on what lights you up. The final card in our spread is the number one in the tarot deck. This is the Magician. The Magician is the master of all the suits of the tarot. He's experienced all the fire, all the passion of the journey of the wands. He's battled his inner intellectual demons and found success in the analytical mind realm through the journey of the swords. He's opened his heart, cracked it wide open through the journey of the cups, and he's like super grounded and connected to the earth and to his visions through his journey of the pentacles. He knows that anything he wants in life, anything he wants to create, any future he imagines for himself is just going to be some combination of these elements. That's it. It's a kind of, he's an alchemist, right? This is like an alchemy. He's basically like turning lead into gold right in front of us. So I want you to see yourself in this card. I want you to recognize how capable you are in different arenas of your life, and just know that like anything you want to do, any situation you find yourself in, like you can get through it, you can figure it out. It's just going to be a combination of these skills that you have relied on for a while. And some of them might be stronger than others. You might be more used to relying on some than others. For example, I know in my life and in my family's life, we have a tendency to over rely on our like analytical thinking brain to try and solve problems, especially ones that are like heart problems. So like just be aware that like, yeah, it might not be easy, it might not be effortless, it might not be like, it might not get it 100% right the first time, but really anything you want to make is available to you. These cards don't come up for people who are lost causes, who are beyond hope, or who just aren't lucky. Like this is not a reading that these people would get. So just know that you are lucky, you are capable, and I think it's time to remind yourself of your passions, of what drives you, and just know that like healing, renewal, hope is all available to you right now. It doesn't even have to be like it's gonna get better. Just say it can be better right now. I can be better right now. That's what came up. How did that land for
That
you?
made me so emotional in the best way. It like felt really good to have such like a lighthearted and hopeful message when we're dealing, with this like challenging time. Something that I'm definitely going to cry about is like when I go to my past self, like through meditation, and then I just get to tell her like it gets to be so much better. And like even though it feels really heavy now, it's so much better than it was. And so like is this a message from my future self telling me the same? Like that's so beautiful. And just like you said, it gets to be better right now. It doesn't need to be hard, but also it's not necessarily easy, but it is simple. I don't know. It just was really, it meant a lot to hear all those words. And the magician is like one of my favorite cards. And I think I think it's also so important, like what you said, like we have all these tools, but we tend to rely on like one. Like, what if we rely on another one? What if we like got a little like curious about it? I don't know. Like, I can over intellectualize my feelings as well when I just need to cry. I don't need to be like, well, you shouldn't be that sad because, like, in reality, it's like not that bad and people, blah, blah, blah. No, like, I deserve to like have a cups moment and just like cry. Um, no, yeah, it was so hopeful. And it's not like the reading I thought we were going to get. So it just, thank you, universe. I don't, does anything stick out to you? I know you're like in the channeled mode, so you don't necessarily like know what you're saying in the
No, I
moment.
can't remember anything. No, I was kidding. Um, when I look back at them, like these are very like, especially like you look at the imagery of how upright like these wands and the sword are, and the magician even like they're very like strong, and I see that as a reflection of our inner strength. Like we've been tested, we know we can get through anything. So there's so much evidence in our lives. There's so much evidence in our lives that we can go through hard SHIT. Okay. I will tell you listeners my cockroach story because I think it's really beautiful. Um, I lived in Vietnam for a while, and I was by myself, and one night I had like a cut on my leg, so I had a band-aid on my leg. And in the middle of the night, I kind of feel like my leg is itching, and I grab my take off my band-aid, and I'm like, oh, I think my band-aid's making me itchy. So I like lift up my eye mask, take off my grab my band-aid, and I look at it, and I'm like holding like a cockroach in my hand. And the cockroaches are about like the size of like this fleshy part of your hand. Like they're not tiny, and they can fly as well. Uh, and oh, had this in my hand. I looked at it. I'm like cuddling in bed with a cockroach right now, and I'm just like, I let out like a silent scream. Like my mouth opens and makes a sound, and my body shakes, but no sound comes out. And I think about that horror a lot, and I realize like, hey, I I I I woke up the next day. I went to work the next day. Like the sun rose. Like even in the most challenging of circumstances, you can count on yourself to survive it. That might sound like a little bit manifesty, that might sound a little bit woo, but it's just a belief that I have. Obviously, it's not true if someone's gonna come like attack you or something, but that really doesn't happen to the majority of people. And even if it did, it's not something I can control, right? So let's just focus on what we can control. And I know that I can see myself through. I can like navigate through the roughest storms. I can come out on the other side of anything. I know that that is promised to me, that destination of getting through, right? We see it. We know that it's promised. So do I want to throw myself a pity party and be really sad about it and have all these hurt feelings and drag my feet? Or do I want to just acknowledge that, yeah, crap sucks right now. This is hard. And as shitty as it is, and maybe I'll turn to a coping mechanism or two in that interim period. I know that it's not going to be forever. I know that like there's going to be a hot future for me. I say that because I think of like my hometown, Vancouver, in the summer. It's just so beautiful, especially by the beach in Kitsilano. There's just when I experience that energy, that warmth, and like the perfect combination of like the sun and the cool breeze, I just feel like this is perfect. Like nothing, this is perfect. This is happiness. And I know that that's there and available to me to tap into anytime I want. Sorry, I got I got a little bit in the weeds there. But that's kind of what I saw in the reading. So now that we've kind of chatted about the reading that came up, we've talked about, this hope. What do you think we're going to do for our energy healing today?
Well, what you said is so important. I kind of want us to be like, if I knew 100% that I'm going to be okay, what would this grieving celebration process look like? I think we forget that, and I forget that. So like I want to do that. Want to do like a little piece of that. I also I also wrote down like we need to connect to like what lights us up, even if it doesn't make sense. You said we're going to be tired no matter what. So like do something that lights you up if you have that ability to. Um and I think just like some good nourishing energy, like filling ourselves up, getting us more like fortified will help us know like we do have this. It is okay. We can balance two heavy things and know that the future is going to be bright. It's going to be hot. What about, is there anything specific for you that you're like, I need right now?
There's nothing specific that I need right now. I can't remember exactly how you phrased it, but there was something you said that really hit the mark for me. Um, so I think if we can focus on like creating some space for like miracles for hope and renewal, would be great, because from when you're like depressed or going through something hard, like the sensation and like the feeling is like that every narrow tunnel vision, and everything gets kind of like dark. So just kind of like something that brings light and kind of like just like a gentle tap kind of on the exterior of the bubble to be like, hey, like just there's space over here. You don't have to stay so shut down, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Totally. Let's get started. And just a reminder, I'm not a medical doctor. Please, if you are in like a low season or a dark season, seek medical professionals, seek those trusted individuals to talk with. That's really important. Because like Sarah said, like depression can make our world just very small and scary. And there's nothing wrong with reaching out for help. So we're gonna just really feel our bodies right now. Feel how heavy you feel in the seat. Unclench your stomach and your pelvic floor and your jaw. Perhaps you can, ooh, my stomach just from, perhaps you can listen to the sounds outside. Like, can you hear anything? Really focus on this moment while I connect to your energy. Maybe you can feel the air on your skin. Does it feel cool or warm? Okay, I'm in. What's so interesting, you said the word space, because that's really what I'm feeling right now is space. So I want us to just hold this idea that if we knew, like you have survived 100% of everything you've gone through, and I know this, I say that a lot, but now think I have survived, I will continue to survive. What does now this process, this in between process, this juggling two heavy things, what does that look like knowing that piece? And I'm just going to cleanse the energetic body while you do that. I'm going to imagine a bright white shower of light, that star energy, just like running down our bodies, going into our bodies, into our cells. And it's renewal. So it's like a waterfall, but then it's like coming back on you and it just keeps rolling and rolling. And then we're going to imprint an affirmation into our cells. And it can either be I'm choosing to try on hope. I am choosing to be hopeful. I am curious about being hopeful. I am, what else do people need to hear? I give myself space to feel what I need to feel. Something that you need to hear right now. We're going to imprint that into our cells to give ourselves the permission. Oh, so good. Yes. So we're just expanding our energy out. Let's just take some deep breaths while we're doing it. Again, this energy is like refreshing our own. So, whatever we need to release gently and lovingly, we are doing so at a time that is right for your mind, body, and spirit. And now let's look at those tools that the magician has, the cups, well, let's do it in more layman's terms, the emotional, the thoughts, the groundedness, the which one am I missing, Sarah?
Action.
Passion, yes. Okay, so think about those. Which one do you need in your life right now? Which one do you tend to use the most? And which one can you perhaps utilize to help support you in this time? Oh, that passion. I'm feeling a lot of passion for a lot of people. A lot of cups too. I'm seeing a lot of like cups runneth over type of energy. So like feel your feelings, but also like how can we fill up our cups with the good stuff? If that's really challenging and dark and challenging times. So just know it can be something small. A, a tea, looking at the sun for 5 minutes. These don't need to be really big, hard things like going on a 5-day trip. And let's just take that energy and put it into our cells so it can help support us. We're really just letting the energy do whatever it needs to do right now. Just continue to breathe from your stomach, really pulling down that air. Just let that energy give you a hug, give you whatever you need to feel supported, to allow you to choose something fun, choose a passion, allow it to show you a different path to take. Just allow this energy to show up in the way it needs to for you. Mine right now is looking cozy. It's like I see a bed, I see a blanket, and it's like, get cozy. And I'm like, okay, let's do that. That doesn't make any sense. It is 1:20 p.m., but I'm gonna listen to it. It doesn't have to be forever. Okay. We're just connecting our energies together. And then I'm going to have us ground. Okay. I want you to see a tree that brings you joy. Maybe it's a flower, just something in nature that we can connect to its energy to. And I want you to sit next to it. You can put your arms around it if it's big enough to. And just ask this nature object to infuse you with its grounding energy, with its hope. Y'all know I love my trees. I'm getting emotional about it, but like trees are so hopeful. And so let's use that energy to really help ground us and help enrich ourselves even more. Because, like nature, most everything besides, the evergreens, they die back during the winter, they bloom in the spring, they have their own renewal cycle. So we just need to listen to them. Okay. Perhaps you're starting to feel a little heavier in your feet. You can imagine this energy, this grounding energy in your pelvis, your thighs, your legs, your feet. And your feet open up, and then two thick roots go down, 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 deep into the earth. The earth can help pull your roots down as well. And then your roots go out in all directions. And then we're going to wrap you up in a big bubble of light, and just know that your energy right now is filled with like high, loving, hopeful, joyful energy. And that's going to just continue to seep into your cells. So, like, know that this is like going to keep happening, like this process until it does the work it needs to do. So, we're wrapping you up in that bubble. We are going to ask a spirit team member or a tree or something that feels powerful to you to like protect your energy, protect this space of yours. And then I got so into it, we forgot to even, start with how I typically start, but we're still going to thank the earth. We're going to thank your spirit team for being with us and allowing us to use this energy healing in the way that's best for your mind, body, and spirit. We're going to disconnect. I'm going to send your energy back to you. Take a few deep breaths. I'm going to call my energy back to me. Another breath. How does that feel for you, Sarah?
Thank you. Feels good. This was really gentle to me. Something really neat happened while we were connected is I got the sensation that it was the afternoon for me. And then you literally said it's like 1:20 p.m. here, but it's like 10:30 a.m. where I am. So that was so weird to like actually feel like the time that you're in. I don't know that that's happened before. No, this was really gentle for me. It was nice to hear that there was some space when you checked in. So we don't have to struggle to create it. We just have to accept it and like let it in, basically. How did it go for you?
It did feel really gentle. Again, like this is not how I thought the tarot reading would go. It's not how I thought the energy healing would go. So it's so interesting because like I was telling Sarah earlier, like I was like, this is what, I think what we're going to talk about will look like. I don't know how it's going to show up, but again, we don't figure out the how because we are both just channeling energy or whatever. Um, what was so interesting for me was that space because it did feel really spacious and just like if it's helpful for someone so my dad died almost 10 years ago, like in a few weeks it'll be 10 years. And so I was like 24 and living my life, you in the US you only get like 2 days of like grieving to like get away from work. And so I would like get up early. I'd be like, I'm going to set my alarm clock for 20 minutes early and I'm just going to cry during that time. And then afterwards I'm going to stop crying. And then
That sounds
that's
so convenient. Wow.
I know. And like sometimes I'd like cry on the metro to work and then I'd like take an extra stop. So I like had time to calm down. And like that does sound dystopian to like say it, but it also like gave me the space. Like that was how I could give myself space at that moment. So just know that it doesn't need to like be a lot of time. It doesn't need to be really stressful. Like I still went to work. Um, so it can look however you want, whatever you need.
Right on. Yeah.
So we gotta do what we gotta do in the world we live in.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. But yes, look after yourself.
Mhm.
And speaking of looking after yourself, if this we think this was really gentle and supportive, which is nice because usually we're like, hey, how's it going? Things are hard. Let's do shadow work.
So
Right?
true.
So this has been really gentle, but like if it hasn't been gentle, if you're feeling a little bit activated or stressed out or you need some support after listening, just be gentle with yourself. We also have an episode. There aren't that many episodes, so you can find it pretty easily. If you look, it's called the nervous system chill out now. It's like a nervous system check. So you can go and give that a listen. Thanks so much for listening. Be sure to follow us on Spotify. And if you have the time and you feel inspired, you can leave us a review or give us 5 stars. It's a great help to a small women-owned business like ours. And you can learn more about my work at Mystic Rose Tarot. I'd be happy to read for you anytime.
Yeah, and check out energywithryan.com, RYAN, like a boy, I always say, to check out energy healing with me, also do like monthly stuff, and also stay tuned for part 2, where we're going to talk about our hot futures.
I'm so excited. All
I
right,
said
we'll see you
too.
soon. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.